The keen-eyed amongst you will notice we're back at our smart home takeover, and in a previous video we installed the Netatmo smart thermostat. If you haven't already checked out that video, link in the description to that one. But why are we here today?
Well, we're going to take a deep dive into some of the features of that thermostat, Gary, and how they can really save you energy, and learn it's not really just about an app where you can dial the temperature up and down when you're away from home. There's some of the great features in there that can really tune those energy savings to another level. Hey Siri, turn the basement temperature to 20 degrees. Hey Siri, turn the living room to 18 degrees.
So how incredible was that? We got Siri to turn our heating system on.
Yeah, and actually that was super easy to set up. Let's think about how you used to have to program the central heating timer.
Well, you'd probably have to adventure upstairs. There'd be a cupboard up there, perhaps full of stuff. You'd move it all out the way. You'd find the mythical time clock there with sliding switches and maybe a digital display. Might even be a drawing in there of what you have to do with the buttons, and you'd look at it and you'd probably walk away.
Yeah, and that's the problem. Because of that, yeah, a lot of people never ever touch those timers. They don't alter it for the time of year, possibly don't alter it because their work patterns have changed. Could that possibly be you, Gary? Is that
Hands up confession there. My central heating controller at home and hot water are both left on constant, and the only way I control my heating in the summer, I turn the thermostat all the way down to off and then turn it back up when it gets to winter.
Yeah, right. Does everyone else in the family just join in that process?
yeah, everybody pitches in to change the temperature. Yeah, they do.
Yeah, okay. So we've previously installed a Netatmo thermostat in our smart home takeover, and check out that video if you haven't seen it. We gave you 3 ways of doing that, didn't we?
We did, yeah. So we saw that 3 ways. But what you didn't show me, Gordon, and this is the bit that I'm always a little bit sceptical about, is how to set up the app.
Yeah, okay. So the system we installed, we could get it operating as a thermostat quite simply without the use of an app. But now we're going to couple it with the app and unleash some of those other features. So let's get the app paired to the thermostat. So we're going to install the Netatmo product. So let's just find our product. There we go, smart thermostat. So I'm going to set it up as a home. So obviously we need our Wi-Fi connected. So set up a new installation. So this is the first product we have. So yeah, just guide through, make sure the relay is connected. It is, because we hardwired it into the Wago junction box.
Confirm the batteries are in place, ready for your thermostat. You've got a pressure button underneath, Gordon?
Yeah, so again, we're going to put it into a programming mode. So we're looking for a green flashing LED. So just follow those instructions. And we're adding to a new home in our home kit as well. So we're just going to create this new home, the eFIXX, let's call it the eFIXX Smart Wall, I think, Gary.
Okay, that sounds like a good idea. So that goes in. We've got to use the little QR code in a minute.
Oh, yeah, you're learning this, Gary, yeah. Oh, there you go. So yeah, we've seen this on other Netatmo products. We're just going to scan that QR code with the phone. So there we go, just looking for it. There it is. And now we're just going to add that into our add to the home.
Wow, that was quick.
Yeah, so we'll give it a name. So let's pick a one that's closest to us. We'll think, let's have a look. Basement.
Well, it feels like we're in a basement, that's about right. Okay.
That was not done, so we might want to obviously change the name so it means something to us. So just give it a sensible name. Yeah, eFIXX Smart Wall 1, just in case we add something else in the future.
Right, okay. So that's paired the thermostat.
Yeah, so that was us. That's the pairing process done. So now we can obviously look at some of the other settings on there. So we're going to where is our thermostat. So again, we're just going to put the thermostat in the base. Oh, there's an electrical cabinet there, Gary. That's an interesting one. We'll not go for that. Where can we go? Let's say this is the office.
Well, my scepticism of apps is starting to change over time. It doesn't seem we ever get one that's difficult to do.
Yeah, well, yeah. Well, let's see the next bit. Let's see how easy it is to set the schedule of our heating system. So let's run through the simple questions to set up the schedule for our smart thermostat.
Okay, so he's going to ask me what time I get up and what time I go to bed, that sort of thing.
Yeah, so what time do you like to get up during the week, Gary?
Well, as I'm working hard, I tend to be a 5 o'clock start.
Oh, nice and early, so let's put that in. Next question, what time do you go to bed?
Well, because I start early, I finish late, so let's go for 11.
Oh, next question done, so that's during the week, so then let's... yeah, are you working at home during the day?
Well, I am at the moment, yeah, lots of us are, so yes, for that one.
Yeah, it's been seems a popular option at the moment.
I'm working from home.
Yeah, well, and then the weekend.
I like to have a little bit of a lay-in at the weekend. Let's go for about 11 o'clock, yeah.
Right. And yeah, I haven't had much sleep, so perhaps what time are you going to bed?
Well, yeah, mate, 8 o'clock. Yeah, try and cram all that sleep I didn't have in a week.
Are you usually at home on Saturdays?
Well, yeah, I do like to go out on a Saturday, back in the day when I could go out, so yes, I like to go out on Saturdays.
Okay. 1 o'clock, where are you off to? A little bit of shopping, is it?
Yeah, a little bit of shopping in the afternoon, like a bit of that. Tend to be more at home on a Sunday.
Yeah. Well, again, lots of people are. There's not much else to do on a Sunday.
Yeah, it certainly is.
So then again, just what's your comfort temperature you'd like when you're at home? So again, we can just set that there.
Adjust that around a bit, yep. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, been
Well, yeah.
saving a bit of money
Look
already,
after
Gary.
the pennies, yeah. So we just need to confirm now that everything's working. There we go.
So there's our thermostat. So obviously that's wirelessly connected via the relay. So let's adjust the temperature. So again, let's turn up to 18 degrees C. Now expect our boiler to come on. Oh, look at that.
Okay, so yeah, and then the thermostat should change. Yeah, it does. Yeah, off to 18.
So that looks like that's successfully paired up.
So in our previous video, I also installed a thermostatic rad valve, but how easy are they to add to the system?
Oh, well, yeah, so we didn't want to mess around too much with that house because that was S-Plan Plus, but what we've done behind us here is set up a mimic of an S-Plan system, and we've got 2 of the radiator valves here as if they were in the same room. So let's see how we get those added to the system. So we're going to add some smart radiator valves to our system. You fitted these already, Gary, haven't you?
Yeah, really simple. Just unscrew the original ones, find the appropriate adapter, and then obviously just screw on the new ones, and you're off and running.
So we're going to add the smart radiator valve. So let's hope it's as easy to commission as it was to install. So select our product. And then we need to put them into a pairing mode. So this is quite easy. Basically just remove the batteries and then reinsert them, and that will put them into a pairing mode so they can be discovered by the app. So again, the app guides you through it, so you do that and you push the next button.
Okay, that's straightforward. So yeah, pop out the batteries, put them back in, so we can see me doing it here. So off we come. If I do it on both of them and then reconnect them, you're telling me that will go straight into pairing mode. And just a simple case of reinstating them, and then we can get that process underway.
Yeah, so we're looking for this blinking signal. So there we go, that's in pairing mode. So now the app is searching for the valves. We're looking for 2 valves.
They're going to be in the same location?
Well, we need to add them to a room now. Yeah, so we've got our 2 valves, so let's start configuring them. So let's pick a room. Now let's have a look. Electrical cabinet, hold on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wonder what that is.
If anyone's working in a heated electrical cabinet, let us know. But we've put them in a lounge, so let's again just commission that. We've done valve 1, so now let's look at valve 2. Again, exactly the same. Just going to add them to that room we've just created.
And as they're both in the same location, obviously they'll work together then, will they?
Yeah.
So once we've fitted the thermostatic rad valve, obviously each of the actual valve bodies have a minimum and maximum position, and they're pretty much all different, Gordon. So how's that going to work?
Yeah, you're right, Gary. And this is, again, a clever feature of this smart valve, that it will either calibrate itself once the system's initially been set up, or if you possibly need to recalibrate it in the future, perhaps you've changed a valve or something like that, you can do that by the app. So I'll just do that here. So again, just push the button in the app to calibrate the valve. Yeah, and you could just see that mechanism there going through its calibration procedure. Obviously, we're looking into the valve here because we haven't got a radiator connected, but that is clever. So hopefully we showed there that actually the system is incredibly easy to set up and very intuitive. So perhaps now let's look at some of the things we can fine tune in the system.
You've already got a thermostat, a smart one as well, and you've had some challenges with it recently, haven't you, Gordon?
Yeah, okay. So smart thermostats aren't new. Yeah, I've had what's probably described as a learning thermostat for quite a while. So you don't set a fixed schedule like you do there, it learns your sequence. And that causes a few challenges, particularly in my house, because there's a bit of a power play goes on. Obviously, I like to turn the heating down, and Mrs. R likes to turn the heating up. So you end up in an unhappy medium in between. But actually, what I've really found happens with a learning thermostat, sometimes I'll be lying and wake up in the middle of the night and the heating's on. And somehow it's learned a different, or set the sequence up slightly differently. So I have to go in and tune out those learning features, which again negates some of the benefits.
Well, we saw us set up one schedule. Is it possible to set up multiple schedules for different patterns?
Yeah, so that's probably one of the big advantages with this Netatmo system. You can have multiple schedules. So if you want to change, say, your work routine changes, you can set up a completely different schedule. So I'm now going to add another schedule. Obviously, a lot of working patterns change at the moment. That's the one we initially had during our setup, but perhaps people working away, or you might be on furlough, back at work, you don't know, you might need another heating schedule. So that's dead easy with this system. So you can either duplicate an existing one and edit it a little bit, or start a new one. So let's just start a new one.
Okay.
So let's call this working away, and possibly I want to deprive the family of heat while I'm not there.
Nice touch.
Easy way to save money.
Yeah.
So again, it's just going to take us through those initial questions again. So the ones we had earlier. So what time do you get up? So are you at home during the day? So in this case, no. Okay. So what time do we leave?
So you can set those parameters. So you're back at 5 o'clock.
Back at 5. What? Back for lunch?
A nice touch.
No. What is lunch? And again, the weekend. Again, are you at home at the weekend? So let's go, yes.
We're pretty much at home all the time at the weekends nowadays, aren't we?
Yeah, again, well, if we're back home, we might as well have the house nice and toasty. So let's have a higher temperature than we had in our previous schedule.
So low temperature when you're not there and higher when you're back. Yeah. Like your touch.
So again, that's done. And now obviously we can make that enable that schedule. So that's the one that the thermostat is running. So again, enabled through the app. And then we can chop and change between schedules, or indeed have another schedule. You might have one for, say, a holiday period when you're at home as well.
Oh, right, okay, that's good. So yeah, so you can flick back to the previous schedule that we'd looked at. Yeah.
So we can also easily adjust our existing schedule. So say on a Monday I wanted to make some adjustments.
So looking at changing perhaps the time you leave or arrive, yeah?
Yeah, so again, just go into the app, make those adjustments. And then, so I'm going to be away for most of the day, so I don't want the heating to come back on until I'm back at 5 o'clock.
Okay. So if that pattern then happened on another day of the week, is it easy to replicate that somewhere else?
Yeah, so you can see where I've taken that chunk of heating out in the middle of the day, so I'm now going to change, obviously, and add that to a Friday. So again, just cut and paste it across between the days and then simply altered.
That was easy. So we're seeing there you can have multiple schedules set, but we've moved away from that old rotary thermostat. What are the benefits of having a digital one? Yeah,
so rotary thermostat, you have, it's either on or off. In your case, that's how we used to control the whole system. But what you can do with a digital thermostat is you get multiple temperature settings, so you possibly don't need to fit a separate frost thermostat. You can have a setting for when you're at home, you can have a setting when you're away from home, and that is, that's again one of the big energy saving features. So I was a bit disturbed this morning to come in and find that the boiler had already switched on because the heating had dropped below 7 degrees, which is our frost setting.
Yeah, if you note there that we're working in an ambient temperature of 6 degrees, can you alter that temperature?
I can. So at the moment we can't turn the boiler below 7 degrees because it is limited by that frost setting, but we're just going to trim that down to 5. Which again, so we can do that now. So this, by altering this frost setting, we should now be able to turn the thermostat down to a lower setting.
Okay, so
that's the stats updated itself.
Oh, it's gone up to 7. It's warm now.
Well, let's just turn the heating off then if it's that warm, Gary. So now, because we've made that adjustment, I can adjust it down to a minimum of 5 degrees, and the boiler should switch off. Yeah,
we should see that boiler go off next then. Oh, it's warm. So Ebenezer Gordon there, setting the temperature at 5, but we've had a little bit of luck because actually the ambient temperature in here, Gordon, is now up to 12. So we could say this is my island in the sun.
With all your hot air, Gary, I'm not surprised it's warming up in here. So let's have a look at some other great features of the thermostat. So you might want to, you're working away, but you might want to allow a trusted guest to have control of the heating system, Gary.
Well, member of your family have the ability to turn the heating up, I would suggest.
So that's a dead simple process. You just invite a user from the app and they'll either get a text message or an email, depending on how you want to send it to them.
That's really simple, and then obviously they can download the app and be in control of the heating system while you're away.
Yeah, you could also remove them if they took advantage of the situation.
And I'm sure you would.
So let's have another look at, again, another great little feature that obviously stops you accidentally wasting energy, and that's open window detection.
Okay, that sounds rather clever, but pretty self-explanatory then. So somebody's foolish enough to come along, opens up a window with the heating system blaring away. I don't think you'll find many people that would do that, Gordon.
Yeah, it happens more than you think, Gary. Yeah, so again, you've opened a window and the heating system comes on, detects an open window and obviously stops wasting energy.
Because at the minute it's trying to get the world up to 21 degrees C with that window open.
Yeah. So then let's have a look at heating prediction. So this is the obviously trying to work out how quickly your house heats up. So a big difference between a radiator and an underfloor heating system.
Right, okay, and every house is different?
Yeah, so the app needs data to do this, so this doesn't happen straight away. Defaults at 30 minutes, but over time we'll make adjustments to make sure you get the right temperature when you want it.
Okay.
The great feature here, eco priority, eco comfort. So say you have an office and you want that to be hotter than the rest of the house because you're working at home, you can enable that mode so that the comfort takes priority, so that will run the heating system on the instruction it gets from the valves rather than just the thermostat itself. So here's a useful fine adjustment you can make in the settings for the thermostat. So hysteresis, so how often does the set thermostat do a switching cycle? So certain types of heating, they need to run continuously. You don't want them flip-flopping on and off all the time.
Right.
So I've just tweaked that up from 0.1 of a degree C to 0.5 of a degree C.
Oh, right, okay. Anything else we can see?
Well, you can have a nice graph, Gary, as well.
All right, I do like a graph.
I know you like a graph, so let's have a look at what's been going on in the basement. Since we switched this on last night, you can see it was cold and it got colder.
I can vouch for both of those.
And then you can see where we've been adjusting the set point in the video as well. So again, you get a nice history of what's been going on.
The app is incredible feature after incredible feature.
You somehow coming round to this new world, Gary?
I think my days of having my heating system permanently on in the winter and off in the summer are behind me.
Yeah, so hopefully we've showed you some great convenience features in this app, but obviously when you bring in everything, it adds up to potential for big energy savings, which is great for the customer. But what about the installer, Gary?
The installer, you've got the Netatmo Pro Installer program. We're going to leave a link for that in the description. But as always, we want your comments. Is there a great feature in there you want to share with the community? Please leave that comment. Are you thinking about fitting this heating system in the future? Please leave all those comments below, and me and Gordon will try and get back to as many as we can.